Hey, what's up? It's Jaja. It's been a minute, but I'm here. Thank you, Heavenly Divine Creator and Source, for your ultimate love and support. Allow me to stabilize in the earth frequency grounded by Gaia, the Eternal Mother. Thank you, Heavenly Divine Creator and Source, for opening my crown, my source, my third eye. Thank you for allowing me to receive heavenly, divinely guided messages. Allow me to step aside and allow the Holy Spirit to descend and to make itself clear, present, and known. I'm under the guise and the acceptance that delays can keep on delaying, and there's really nothing that one can do about it. There's a resurrection in regards to a resource and or resources. There's a reset of pride-like mind state of being. There's an internal understanding that in order to proceed forward, it's all a matter of letting go, letting go, letting go, letting go. Now, as we let go and we create space for more and the unfolding of everything that is great, magical, and powerful, allow my entire being to be recalibrated, balanced, healed, filled of white, Christ, divine, light, crystalline, Christ-like. Thank you, Heavenly Divine Creator and Source, for allowing me the opportunity to be a vessel, open, clear, hopeful, knowledgeable, understanding, yet having to totally and completely give myself over in a way that I don't even really understand right now. And the cool part is that the only thing that I have to answer to is right now, this time and this space, here and now. And when we tap into this time and space, I see all kinds of things, right? I see numbers and synchronicities, repetition and endings. But also, I get the opportunity to confront myself, to confront thyself. And in this confrontation, all sorts of things come up. And the biggest one that I'm understanding is an internal pressure. A cooking valve, a pressure valve, a steam pot, steamboat, chugga, 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 tugboat, 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 tugging. Thank you, Heavenly Divine Creator and Source, and thank you for this opportunity to show up. Right? Life is always continuously shifting, and we're constantly in the act of letting go, becoming free and floating, and then re-anchoring the self right down into the center, in through the solar plexus, right down into the feet. And even that brings causes for worry. There's an act of questioning, there's a line of questioning, there's curiosity, there's sometimes even jealousy and envy, but that's, we are communicating amongst the pressure valves or the pressure valve. And this pressure valve is boiling once again in the solar plexus, in the power center, and bringing us to issues and dilemmas of willpower, personal power, ego development, ego envelopment, and training the self to move forward amongst and amidst discomfort, coming as feelings such as pressure, steamboat, tugboat. Now, with so many innovations around the corner, I can't help to think about how rapidly time is moving, but in that same facade, I feel like we are getting the illusions of timeline jumping amidst the distortions of everyday reality around you. Sometimes you just gotta let the pot boil over and see what kind of remnants it leaves behind. We can't always control the messy parts, and we can't always control where and how things land. But it's more so of our emotional, mental disposition that would speak of, like, say, self-containment, mental strength. While, again, allowing things to fall in its place, while allowing the magical, mystical hand to put things in its places, unknown to you, with maybe your eyes closed, a blindfold, and that could mean many things. That could be surprises, that could be just walking blindly into a situation, not truly understanding like what it is. And it feels like a surprise, and then maybe we're ruining the surprise by saying it's a surprise, but either way, it's going to be a surprise. It's a matter of walking into a situation blindly. Five of Wands. Now, whenever I think of the Five of Wands, I think of a combustion, or I think about a conglomeration, or a kind of a bunch of life force energy, as well as sexual energy, reproductive energy, kind of coming together. Frustration, a pressure valve. I always kind of look at this as like repressed sexuality, but I think and this is like more so a confrontation with all of the different aspects of the self, like the different facets of the personality that tend to clash. And because of a clash, there's an unresolved tension, there's an unresolved dilemma, or there's just like a lot of pushing and pulling, so to speak. The Five of Wands is a card of conflict. I mean, we have yellow, which is that solar plexus we mentioned. We have orange, which is the sacral chakra, and then we have the blue sky. And blue sky is clear communication. That's very interesting. Like a sky that's clear, not a cloud in sight. And that's why I don't always take this card so negatively. To me, it can just show up as an unexpressed creative life force energy, or unexpressed like tension. Yes, doing our best to transmute and reroute the information. Okay, what do we have here? The Knight of Pentacles. This Knight of Pentacles it always brings about mixed emotions, and we have the Wheel of Fortune reversed, so that's just like reiterating the pause and or the standstill. And this is, I mean, again, yeah, a pause, a standstill, a pressure, like an energy that's stuck, energy that's not moving, energy that's not being expressed. Now this is like a yellowy, no, I'm sorry, an orangey yellow, which gives me a mixture of that sacral chakra mixing in with the ego in a way. And this is a conflict that arises once we start over communicating or over considering what the solar plexus has to say, which is a mental chakra, very guttural or instinctual as well, but is prone to processing things through the mind. And this is where maybe energy is created, desire is created, passion is created, right? But also stored. This knight is holding a physical material object on a black horse that isn't going anywhere. It's a contemplative energy, more so like, should I, or could I, or will I, or could, like somebody shoulda, coulda, wouldas, but this is the energy here. So this could either be you, someone you know, or just a situation that's just kind of brewing and getting ready to surface, but we'll see about that. The Wheel of Fortune. Cog in the wheel. I blow dried my hair, but I did not want to put excessive heat on it. Yeah, I've been putting heat on it a lot these past couple of weeks, and less is more in this case. Knight of Pentacles, Mercury in Leo, retrograde, conjuncting the sun, if we wanted to get technical. No, one card, please. Knight of Pentacles. I mean, this is a messenger, but also a doer. This is someone who's very practical, but can be stagnant as ever. It's good. It's slow. Look at that. The Two of Pentacles speaks for itself quite clearly, doesn't it? It's an oscillation of time and money and resources, and also just like considering. It's also an emotional card, as we have the waves here. We have big waves, dips and highs and lows. So this is very much an emotional experience, although it's probably buried closer to the ground with this earth energy, and probably unseen. As we see, this emotional energy is hovering low amongst the lower chakras. And that makes perfect sense, as we have the root chakra and the sacral here, the two lower chakras, but then we are standing on some green slippers, and the green is heart-centered. Again, that emotional consideration, that emotional up and down, but also that indecision, the stagnancy to make a move forward. Maybe just having a trouble getting over conflict energy, intrinsically and or externally, because these are two singular beings, but we're juggling something. Can be money, can be finances, can be resources, but resources are unlimited, meaning pretty much anything can be used as a resource. So the Knight of Pentacles, Five of Wands, and the Two of Pentacles. So what are we considering? What's going back and forth? I mean, there's a delay here, confusion, But there's definitely, again, energy brewing beneath the surface, energy kind of percolating inside the creative centers. This is kind of like making a decision of whether we even want to move forward or act on these energies and what that would look like. Avoiding external conflict, just waiting for the coast to be clear. Waiting for the coast to be clear. Just making sure that we are able to overcome or avoid any type of like unnecessary dilemmas. So we could be waiting just to have the path open, burst open, wide, unexpected. We have the Knight of Pentacles and we have the Knight of Wands. And this is, you know, it's masculine energy, young masculine energy, but we have masculine and earth masculine, double masculine, feminine masculine, or just like softer, receptive, more grounded. This is a high speed, go get 'em, why you keeping me waiting? Like, this is getting very uncomfortable. I'm out of here. I'm out of here. Like, what am I waiting for? So then we have, I'm waiting and I'm not waiting. And I think that's very much just, well, under the deck we have the 10 of Swords. Again, into that root and sacral. Exactly where I think that conflict is happening. But this marks an ending, a dawn of a new day, right? Like the darkness clearing, like a battle completion, but also just like exhausting the mind and deciding to take a leap forward, or just like refusing to start a new beginning or refusing to have a new beginning is what's been causing all of this anxiety and this turmoil. And I think it's just about time that we take action and cut out the indecision. I think it's just exhausting at this time, because the 10 of Pentacles is essentially like death energy. It's ending energy. It's completion energy. But it's also like with the 9 of Swords, we're stressing, we're having nightmares, we're overthinking things, and it's just like keeping us up to the point of exhaustion, kaput. So we're holding on to something, but I think it's exhausting, or I think something is having a hard time landing and it's exhausting. And I think that's the very pressure in which we are trying to get out of or trying to jump into. The Fool, either way, is a completion point. Done. We see that with the 10 of Swords. Hold on. 10 of Swords and the Fool card. This is a complete ending and a new beginning, whether it's positive or not. The 10 of Pentacles here would say that it's a gamble, but it's also a jackpot. It's a gamble, but it's also a jackpot. And you'll know this energy by it's like fiery, again, sensual, creative, sexual, explosive, tension, passion, fervor, anger, irritation, indecision. This is how you know what we're talking about right now, because all of these feelings, all of these pressure points and lack of movement is going to show you in which areas that you're basically depleting yourself at this point. Like, you're depleting yourself at this point. So opening up the pressure valve to allow something to escape. The 3 of Pentacles, to allow the blueprint to come alive, to allow the building process to show itself, right? This has a lot to do with opening up yourself to new beginnings or new information, such as like channeling. And channeling requires you to just let go, to start, you know, the process one brick at a time. And before we have a complete foundation, which would be the 4 of Pentacles, we're still kind of lining things up brick by brick. This is also a very cerebral and mental process, as we have like the logistics and the numbers, right? And also the communication involved in building a structure. But as you can see, this is all happening in the dark. It's like hidden like machinations or machinations or hidden information or hidden processes in the imagination, only to begin to bring it out into the light, or to bring it to life, right? Look at this dark. See this dark background, dark energy here, and just now for some reason I just feel like we have to let something go entirely with the Ten of Swords and the Fool. And I don't get like such a positive energy. Like I don't get like, hooray, like this is so exciting, like everything you want is coming your way. It's kind of just like deciding to stop stalling, because the stalling energy is draining by this point. And it's only creating pressure cookers and valves that are bound to explode. And once those things or energy, people, places, or things explode, you have to just allow them to fall where they may. You just have to allow the pieces to fall where they may. And that kind of comes with consequence of stagnation. Six of Swords. So moving on from the Five of Swords is a mental conflict to just kind of making up our mind and deciding to cross the river, cross the waters. Three of Pentacles. Right, it's like handling or resolving some sort of responsibility, equation, problem, and just coming forward with it. And there's no telling what kind of energy follows that. Like, is it an energy of celebration? Is it an energy of miscause or mispause, or energy of a mishap? Okay, Queen of Wands. There's that fiery energy. The Queen of Wands is an entrepreneur. Look at it. Look, and a businesswoman. And then we have the King of Swords here. So we have Leo, Aries, and even Piscean energy here. And then we have Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. Male and female. One very hot, spicy, full of flames, and the other one more cold, reserved, but attentive, present, facing forward, I don't know, meaning head on. It's also about having a calm, breezy mind, but not without trouble. Just keeping everything calm on the surface. We have the blue, the throat chakra, the mind, the spiritual realm, draped by a red cloak first, which is the sacral chakra, so grounding the mind. And then donning it or crowning it in purple, a purple cloak or purple robe, marking spiritual authority, spiritual royalty, spiritual loyalty, also just royalty in general. Also can mark priesthood, being a teacher, an educator, someone totally ordained. This is also about working for the self, but also like considering a partner or someone who can assist you in the logistics, right? I don't really see too much. I mean, we have the Knight of Wands and the Queen of Wands, which could be that hot and heavy energy and that need to just like come out of the gates. But then we have a mentally sourced mind, a mentally mature individual. A lot of mental, physical confrontation is what I'm sensing. Passionate, air-like, telepathic, spicy. Fire and air, though, those two energies are very hard to pin down. Fire and air just sounds like combustion to me. Oh, but we have Eight of Pentacles, so a work in progress. Eight of Pentacles grounds this. Okay, so we have the Knight of Pentacles. Let's see what we have for Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles, Three of Pentacles, and the Eight of Pentacles. So this could be business decisions, business moves, picking up classes, sharpening the tool, sharpening the mind, moving around finances, doing finances, organizing money, business plans as well. Taking a look at where money is coming, going, where we're putting it, our investments. There's a lot of like heavy earthly energy about building security, safety. Also practical repetition that improves mastery over time with the King of Swords, and the ability to kind of magnetize with the Fool here. But it's all about kind of getting out of that ego mental stagnation, right? Releasing the pressure cooker, whether we do it slowly, releasing the steam, or we just let it bundle up and see where and how the contents expose. We're totally walking into a new phase, but it's still a phase of work. It's still a phase of going back and forth, ups and downs, planning, you know. Yes, because we're still building essentially on the foundation, or the foundation, while simultaneously like abandoning an old foundation, or abandoning the previous foundation, or abandoning the previous structure. Again, not that like you're moving into a finished house, so to speak, but that you will be rebuilding from the ground up, but not necessarily from the beginning, because you are in a new beginning, if that makes sense, that took off from the last occasion or the last happening. Nine of Pentacles. So we have the 8 to the 9 of Pentacles. And the 9 of Pentacles is usually a very single-minded individual, like meaning someone who's worked hard to secure their place in this world. Someone who's worked hard to secure their self-worth, their self-value, right? This is also a card of singlehood. But after, I think, I don't know, like we have the King of Wands here. Ace of Cups, the Chariot, and the King of Wands. Yeah. I feel like that's just renewal for a new beginning. And I don't know if you're at exactly where you think you're going or heading. I really feel that you have to let go of all previous expectations and be prepared for something unexpected to happen. Meaning you're just not gonna see it, and it's gonna be one person who changes and shifts the entire ride. It's one encounter, one being that triggers your next level in this world. But this is someone in which you and who you work with, you work alongside with. This is someone that offers communication, is able to communicate, right? Has their thoughts in order, and is okay with relearning and practicing the steps and, becoming a student at one point, as well as honing this level of mastery that is going to now be put to use. So it's like, I'm new at this, but I've been doing this a long time, or like, I've been practicing for this marathon, or I've been practicing for this type of job, or I've been studying for this type of position, and you're more than qualified, right? You've put in your hours, your apprenticeship, you've done the courses, you ran the course, and now you get to actually like start the game or start like assembling the project. And it's as if you're a beginner because you're doing it for the first time, because you're putting your mastery to work for the first time after a long time of like dedication and practicing. And it's like coming out and being able to use the skills that you've been honing on for so long, but it feels brand new. It feels like odd, even though it's not your first rodeo, essentially. Like, I don't know, but what you do does count. And for some reason, I feel like this is not the final round, but what happens here in this situation and what happens in this next chapter is of great importance. And it's not, I repeat, it is not a practice round. So with that being said, I think that's all I got. Should I close with the oracle card? Would I be pushing it? Yeah, wow. Yeah. It's so solid, so life-changing. It feels so good, so comforting. Crown chakra. This is about opening up the mind, allowing the new information and downloads to come in, to allow yourself to continue to step over and overcome the mental, emotional storms, and to just be steadfast, to remain focused, to understand that you've been practicing for this for a long time. You're very prepared, you're very worthy, you're very skilled. You're very detail oriented, you're creative, you're unique, you're full of flair, you're extremely patient. You've assessed the situation over and over again. You looked over every detail, every consequence, every potential consequence. It's just like you've stirred the pot so many times that like you should know the recipe by now, and you do know the recipe. And so let's see if you can get it done in 30 minutes. So yeah, that's what I have for you. I'll talk to you soon, and God bless you. Later.